Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Brothers Take podcast. I'm Kris. I'm joined once again by my brothers, Adam
Hello.
and Eric.
Hello.
And we're off to the races. We're back in the room to talk more video games. And in this week's episode, we're actually going to be talking about our backlog. I don't know how many generations this goes back. We'll see when we're talking about it. But every gamer has a backlog of sorts. Eric is like, nope, never heard of it. Completed every game ever. Don't have a backlog. Don't know what it is. Never seen one.
And then there's this word you say, and I don't know what it means. I don't know.
Well, should we clarify in case for some reason someone maybe doesn't use that term? What is a backlog? Do you guys know?
See, again, there's that word. I haven't the clue.
So for the Erics of the world, Adam, what's a backlog?
Backlog is a catalogue of games that you are meaning to get to and finish one day, but for whatever reason, you haven't.
Yeah. So I would say it wouldn't count. Just starting a game or something doesn't automatically put it in your backlog, right? So if I went over to a friend's house and I played FIFA with him because he just wanted me to play FIFA with him, that doesn't mean now I have started FIFA.
That's it, yeah.
And now
you
it's in my backlog, and I
100%.
gotta go buy a copy and go finish it. Otherwise, it remains forever in my backlog. However, if I picked up a game or download a game off PS Plus or whatever, and was playing it and got like maybe 10 hours in or something and had every intention of finishing it, but then other games came along, I got distracted, played them, moved on to the next thing, and before you know it, Devil May Cry 5, I still haven't beaten, and it's there somewhere, and I have to go back to it at some point. It becomes part of the backlog. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. What games are in our backlog, why they're in our backlog, and are there any that we are actually likely to go back and finish at some point? Or do we need to be honest with ourselves here on the podcast and admit that, no, you know what? I will never actually finish Death Stranding. Like, do we need to just be honest and admit that? But we want to hear from you guys too. Either if it's a game that's in our backlog that we're like, we haven't finished it, maybe you want to egg us on and say you need to finish that game, it's so fucking good. Or maybe you want to tell us to not waste our time with certain games. Or maybe you want to let us know games that are in your backlog. So if you're watching this on YouTube, jump down in the comments at a point to share your thoughts. And if you enjoyed this discussion, want to give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. And to those of you who listen to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on your video game backlog. But without further ado, let's talk about games that we've never finished.
What
It's
a
not
list
usual.
that will be.
Yeah, what a list. Yeah. How do we want to go about this? Who wants to go first? I suppose Eric has the shortest list from us.
Is there any?
Do I have the shortest list or do I have the longest list? Because my list could just be every game ever.
No. It's a game that you've actually started, right?
Okay.
With the intention of actually finishing it, but got distracted, and you plan to go back to it someday.
Okay, so I get rid of that game. Because there's a game on that I have downloaded.
Yeah.
I do want to play it, but I haven't started it based on the fact that it is a co-op game.
All right.
So I can't play it because I'm on my own. So, but that would be a game I would like to play. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a very cute game.
What's that one?
It's called Haven.
Oh, what's that?
It's a couple. They're trapped on a planet. And they're just living their life. This looks good.
And is it couch co-op or is it online co-op?
I don't know, but this looks wholesome. I kind of want to
Is
play
it like It's not like us. What's that? The Us 2 one or
It Takes Two?
It Takes Two. It's not like that, is it? Or is it like a simulator? Like what kind of? What's the gameplay? Do you know?
I think the gameplay involves like turn-based combat. Almost looks reminiscent of like early Final Fantasy, like mid Final Fantasy games, with then like text-based dialogue, and it has a very like stylized drawing aspect to its graphics and stuff. A lot of very like pastel
So
colors.
what
and stuff.
aspect of that is co-op?
The couple working together.
Is it like a couch or online co-op?
I Chris asked that question. I have no idea.
I want to know more about this game you have never played. What's it about?
I can't tell you guys. I haven't played it.
how does it end? Cool. So that's okay. Haven is one of the games in your backlog.
Yeah. I suppose my second playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077, if that counts.
No, it's a
Second
game that you.
playthrough. What
No,
the?
no,
Get
come
outta
on, get out of
here.
here. This
Okay, so
we're talking. Give Adam a chance. First playthroughs first, at least. Come on.
okay, so I'm not including
is that you
Cyberpunk
struggling?
2077.
Is that you struggling to have a backlog? Is that?
That doesn't
Well,
include my fourth playthrough of Witcher 3.
No, it doesn't.
That doesn't include my second playthrough of Death Stranding, which you
No, like
finish.
get out of here.
Okay,
Oh, you're telling me I should finish that game?
Yeah,
Okay.
I want someone else to also sit there thinking, "Oh, I'm almost done this," and then 2 days later, the ending is still going on. I want someone else.
I already know what that's like. I'm playing Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah, there's a couple of games that are like that. So.
I'm 56 hours in. And the end is still not in sight. So I know that feeling.
Right.
Anyway.
I suppose Devil May Cry 5. I got a good bit way into that, and I haven't finished it, and I probably should go back to clear that. I started a game called Code Vein. I think that was released on the PS4. It's kind of like a Dark Souls game, but like an anime style art craft to it. I started it. I have no idea if I'm gonna. You know what? It's starting to seem like I don't have a backlog. Hogwarts Legacy, maybe.
Oh yeah. Where were you in that?
Act 3, as in winter.
Okay, now I want to ask: is that a game that you think you will go and finish?
I haven't a clue.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, you fell off on that, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And was that lack of interest? Other things came along, and you were like, I would much rather play.
Yeah, you see, that was going on, and that was like, okay, I'm playing this, and it's grand. But Resi 4 was around the corner. So obviously, so when I got Resi 4, I was like, that's hijacking, and I just played the crap out of that. And then I just, never really went back to Legacy.
Did you finish that, Adam, or is that, not to jump over to you too much, but just while that game is up, is that game in your backlog?
It's in my backlog.
And is it one that you would intend on finishing, or
Yeah.
do you think you've kind of fallen off it?
No,
or?
I haven't fallen off it. It's I've always been meaning just to get back into that and play it. I really enjoy it. Like, I enjoy games like that though, and I feel like there's not much pressure to clear it because I'm not playing that for the story. Like, I really don't care for the story.
Yeah, it's more the sandboxy experience of it, right?
Just running around, exploring, collecting things. That's the part of that I enjoy. So even if I do jump into it, I'm probably not going to make much progress. I'm still just arsing around in the game.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. To be honest, it's not one that's gonna, like, when you get to like the Game Awards period, like it's not gonna be up for best narrative or anything. You know.
No,
but
maybe
maybe
it'll be up for anything.
It could. I personally, I think it would deserve. You're gonna nominate anywhere. I think the best RPG category. It's a great RPG. Like, so if I was gonna class it anywhere, that's the category I'd probably class it in.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I don't know, because the competition is just so tough this year.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to be honest, this is just one of those years where there's so many games that might not make it in that you'd feel like they should be, and it's not because it's bad. Like, it could be any other year's game of the year.
Yeah.
And it's just that the competition is just so fucking high this year, and we're only halfway through. Like, there's still fucking more to come. Like, there's already, like, I'm like, usually there's 6 nominees in the, like, best game of the year. And I'm like, I actually don't know what those 6 are going to be. I could guess. I mean, I know some of them. You know, Tears of the Kingdom is going to be in there, like, you know? Good chance Resident Evil 4 will be. Good chance later on in the year the Spider-Man 2 will be, depending on how it performs. Like it, but if they can keep up the quality of the first game, it has a good chance of being in there. But like, there's so many games.
Depending on how Starfield's going to go, then it's between that and Dead Space, isn't it?
Right, that could get in there too. Well, I don't think Dead Space will be in that category. As amazing as that game is, that's what I mean by any other year that could be game of the year. I think it's too strong this year. I think, like, Diablo, everyone's going crazy about Diablo 4. Final Fantasy 16 did get crazy reviews. Mortal Kombat 1 might be incredible. Who knows? Like, it's like the year is fucking stacked. So, and there might be some indie game along the way that surprises people too. That what's that one? The Plucky Squire. Like, that could be. Who knows? Like, it's too tough. Anyway, so Hogwarts Legacy, not likely.
Octopath Traveler and Octopath Traveler 2. I suppose they're on my backlog as well.
Yeah.
Do I count Tears of the Kingdom? Like, I don't have it.
It's
No,
not
I
in your,
suppose I want to
it's
play
not
it.
in your backlog. If like
Okay, I see. It's this word. I don't get it. I don't understand. It's like some
a
weird
backlog,
French.
you've bought the game or you have the game. It's at home. It's on your shelf. You haven't touched it yet.
Yeah.
That's a backlog.
Yeah, I know what they are.
Yeah. You have to have the game, like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Spider-Man 2 is in my backlog. It's not.
that
That's my
makes sense to
forward
me.
log. I haven't
It's your
got it yet.
future log.
My future log. I haven't got it.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's crazy. There's no way that's it. Is that it?
Yeah, because I think I cleared everything else, or I have no intention really of play. Even though I might have downloaded it and then thought to myself, actually, I have no intention of playing this game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's,
that
different.
happens,
That's,
doesn't it?
that's just
Yeah.
testing it out, isn't it? That's just trying it out. But
Yeah, and I think Code Vein was that. I just downloaded it, was free, and I was just going to give it a test. Final Fantasy Type 0, I just tested that out and then like deleted it pretty much straight away. So
Mhm.
yeah, I think there's a few games on the system that are just that.
Yeah. I get
or
you.
I've cleared them. Or I have no intention of going back to play them, so then they don't technically count as a backlog because I don't really want to go back to clear them.
So there's no game that you're like, I actually genuinely want to go back and play that, and I haven't yet because I got like sidetracked with all these other games. At all?
No, not really.
I'm wondering by the end of this conversation, who has a bigger problem, me or Eric?
Yeah, like, is it that Eric plays everything to completion, even if it's something that he's not like crazy about? Which actually, I think you do, though, don't you? Like, there is a lot of games that you have played to completion and went, "This was crap," but I played it the whole way through.
No, that's not. No, that's
You were nearly
not
like
true.
reviewing games before we had a podcast. Like,
That's no, because I never cleared Viva Pinata.
so is that in your backlog?
No, I wouldn't want Viva Pinata my backlog.
Oh, you have to add bug snacks to my list.
Oh, God.
No, because they're well. Recently, I think I've been a little bit more like this game is not for me, and I just stopped playing it.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the day, for sure, I might have played a game and thought,
That's what I mean.
it's
Like,
fine, like back in
That's
the
what I
day,
mean.
but not recently.
yeah. Okay.
Mm.
Who wants to go next? Adam, your list is probably the longest. Do you want me to go next?
Yeah, go on then.
Okay. So my backlog: Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 8. So of those, just to start there, I suppose, with the Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 6 as well. Actually, I need to get back to that. That one I intend on finishing. I want to get back to it. I've been on 16 while the 16 hype train has been kind of on, rather than putting that to one side. And there's more chance, like, you can't really spoil 6 on me at this point. It's been years, and a lot of things that happened to it in it I know about anyway, from just years of watching discussion videos and things like that. You know, it'd be very hard now if you're a gamer and interested in that sphere to like never hear that Aerith dies in Final Fantasy 7, right? Like, there's just certain things.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa.
What the fuck you doing?
Fucking timestamp that one.
Frick.
Jesus.
Don't just bombshell
Take
that.
that out.
Oh, by the way, spoilers for every game that we're going to talk about that we haven't finished. So there's, I'm not as worried about spoilers for Final Fantasy 6, but I will finish that. Final Fantasy 9, I got really far into, and I had every intention of finishing, and I really enjoyed it. And I got to a point where the only way to progress was, there's this mini game, this like card game in it. And there's a point in it where that becomes mandatory. And I hadn't been playing that at all because I didn't enjoy it. And I just put it to one side. And I suddenly got to a point where I was like, oh, fuck. I should have been doing that all along. And I had a guide that probably would have told me to, by the way, do this all along. So I have they're like leveled cards. And I have all these like low level beginner cards because I hadn't been playing the game. And I have to get past these people with these high level cards. So you have to go around the world and kind of do all the stuff that I should have been doing as I was going along. now just to progress the story, and I was like, oh, there was so much momentum. This was a bad choice. This was a bad game choice.
So they have
when
Gwent.
pretty much like OG Gwent, but they made
So
it
good.
like it was optional, so it shouldn't have to be now mandatory. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to finish 9 because that just I was going around trying to do it and I was going, I hate this part. I hate this game.
I think I'm in
So
Lindblom in 9. If Lindblom is in
yes,
9.
it is. Yeah,
Okay, that's where I am in 9.
yeah. There's some great stuff in it, and the music is brilliant. So it's like the characters and the animation and stuff, but yeah, that's just really annoying. So I don't know if I'm going to finish that. 12, I'm not going to finish 12. I bought it with every intention of playing through it. Could not get into it, and then I downloaded because I had the PS Plus, and in the tier system there was the Zodiac Age. I was like, people have been raving about this game for years, and they got this big remaster, and even the remaster reviewed really well. Maybe I was just too young to like get it. Maybe now if I go back, and I was like, it starts great, and some of the cinematics are fantastic. And the minute Vaughn opens his fucking mouth, I'm like, I hate this guy. And then you have to go down to a sewers and kill rats. It's like, I hate when you have to kill rats in a sewers as the beginning of your fantasy journey. Like that to me, that is just piss poor onboarding. And then there's the little colored lines, so it's like an MMO, but it's not online. And I'm like, all of this irks me. So I as much as people love that, I just can't get into it. So I don't think I'll be finishing that. That's going to remain in my backlog. 8 was kind of similar. I couldn't get into it. And people love that game too. It goes to show how Final Fantasy is just like up and down.
Yeah, it's all over the place, really.
I think in 8 I actually got a little bit far into 8. I think I got the whole party in 8.
Wow.
And
Okay, no, yeah, I didn't get that far.
I'm on like an assassination mission, or I'm on something now. I'm in like the big capital of the evil empire.
Cool.
Is where I am in 8.
Yeah, some of like the stuff going on in 8 is interesting, and some of the characters are cool, but there's a strange vibe to it too that I don't know. It's not gelling with me. But they always say your first Final Fantasy will always be your favorite. So there's so many people like if 8 was the first one they played, they swear by it. You know, same with most of the world, their first Final Fantasy was 7. You know, and then the next generation, most of them were 10. So hence those ones tend to be people's favorites. But then of course you're going to have older school people like, I was there since the beginning. But they'll never say the first one is the best.
No, but 3, I think, isn't it? 3 is one that...
People like 3. People don't like 2. 2 seems to be like the most hated.
But I think 3 is when it really Final Fantasy it's the gold finger of Final Fantasy. Like it's when all the stuff kind of kicked in.
Yeah, I think Chocobos, Moogles, and Summons all came in 3.
Yeah, 1 was very like D&D.
Yeah.
It was just very D&D. I don't know really much about the second one.
I think it's like the first one again, but with a terrible battle system apparently.
Oh.
So I've heard. I don't know this. So that's some of those games on my backlog. Likely to finish 6. One day would love to finish 9, but have to get over that whole card thing. Not likely to finish 8 or 12. Grand Theft Auto 5. Really good game. I would love to finish it someday. Apparently it has a good ending, but I've never actually finished the story because usually when I throw it on, I just get so distracted with
I just couldn't
doing
gravitate.
everything except a mission.
Yeah, I couldn't gravitate to that game at all, and I've tried a few times.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And I should, because like, you know, you're back in San Andreas, but there's just something off about it. It just doesn't feel like San Andreas.
I think maybe it's interesting that because my mindset when I'm playing it is not necessarily the I'm back in San Andreas thing, which I could see as like if you wanted that feeling of being welcome back to like a place that's nostalgic, and you're not getting that. I'm more like I was really into the heist thing, and I think that's done really well. So whenever you pull off a heist and you're switching between the 3 characters doing their role in that heist, that's when I'm like, oh, this is fucking cool. As opposed to the actual location. Yeah. But like I like all the activities you can do in the world. Like it's a very fleshed out world.
Yeah.
You know, there's lots to do. But that's the thing, there's so much to do that I end up not doing the story. So that's why it's in my backlog.
Yeah, don't ever
But
pick
one
up
day
Red
I would
Dead
like to
2.
finish it. No, I've told myself I can't. I can't do it. I haven't got that kind of time in my life. Come on. I can't finish the games I have, never mind. So that's that one. Speaking of fives, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
But are you
is in my
actually going
backlog.
to?
That doesn't
Well,
count because you don't want to clear it.
No, hold on. Backlog is you were playing it with the intention of finishing it, and then we're addressing whether we'd actually go back and finish it or not.
Oh, well then, yeah, 9 and 8 would then be classified by backlog too.
Yeah,
Fantasy
we'll
8 and
come
9.
back to you because you don't fucking get it.
No, I'm not getting this
Right.
French word you're throwing out. Just
Le Backlog. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain. Obviously, as a huge Metal Gear Solid fan, wanted to play through this whole game. I'm never going to finish the Phantom Pain. I'm just not. I just don't love it. And it's just, if as amazing as the graphics are and as amazing as the gameplay mechanics are, it felt like a chore to play because it felt like just ticking off boxes and doing the same missions over and over again. And not, yeah, like when I'm playing for that next fucking cutscene and it's not really happening. And a lot of the story is told through tapes and stuff. And I'm like, this is so bizarre. Like, this just doesn't feel like Metal Gear Solid at all. So that will probably forever remain in the backlog.
Don't worry,
Death
no
Stra-
one's cleared it. It's just not finished.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's missing a
Death
third act.
Stranding. Death Stranding is in the backlog. I love the atmosphere. I love the concepts. I'm not likely to finish it, I don't think. I don't
Yeah.
think there'll ever be a point where the gameplay to Death Stranding is more exciting than any other game I could be playing at that moment going forward.
right.
Yeah, I think you're
just can't
definitely too late for that one. That
Yeah, I feel
that
like I
arrived
missed the
at
train.
Yeah, that arrived at the right time because there wasn't much happening,
Yeah.
and it just had this nice pacing to it that you're not trying to get onto your next game. So
Yeah.
I think currently it just it'd be very difficult to stick with it with everything else that's out.
Yeah. I feel like I have a better chance of, but maybe it'd be hard to get into too, like story wise, but I feel like I have a better chance of like getting into and jumping on Death Stranding 2. Like I feel like that's more likely than me ever actually finishing the first one. Like I think I'd be more likely to when Death Stranding 2 comes out, and depending on like how it is and everything, just watching some recap video of Death Stranding 1 to jump into Death Stranding 2. Like I think I'm more likely to do that.
Yeah.
I think you'll still be confused.
Oh, I have no doubt that I'd be confused. You kidding me?
Yeah.
But I love the music and the atmosphere and everything. Death Stranding was amazing. But yeah, I'm like, I could walk for miles, or I could go fight stuff. Like I'm I'm more likely to go fight stuff than to just walk for miles. So that's in the backlog. Not likely to finish. You mentioned earlier, actually, Devil May Cry 5. I had been playing through that, was really enjoying it, and then got distracted with other games because there's just too many games.
Yeah.
That's in the backlog with the intention of going back to that whenever things quieten down next year. That's not likely to happen this year. Hi-Fi fucking Rush. Hi-Fi Rush. That's in my backlog. And I mean to get back to that. And you know what? That game might be in Game of the Year category. That game reviewed ridiculously. My blinds are fucking collapsing on me. Stop it!
Are they cursed or something? Or
I don't. Let me tell you, these blinds are fucked. They're fucking broken. I need new blinds, but it's not gonna happen right now in this moment or anything. But they're fucked.
No, go on Amazon, order new blinds. Let's go.
Do it right now. Do it on the podcast. Do it.
Yeah, stream it as well.
Yeah, I gotta get up and measure the fucking thing though. So Hi-Fi Rush I need to get back into. That was actually a lot of fun.
Did you like
just
that?
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. It's just like, well, for something that like if you're already paying for Game Pass,
Yeah.
and they just like shadow dropped it, and just go play it. I didn't like it in the way of like I didn't, because clearly otherwise I would have finished it by now. Like I wasn't obsessed with it or like blown away by it, but I thought it was really fun, and more so because I was aware of who the studio are. I was like, it's really cool to see that studio do something so different to what they normally do.
What studio is it?
It's
Tango?
Tango Gameworks.
Oh, the guys who did other games. The guys did fucking Evil Within?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Which they put in the trailer. They said, from the makers of the Evil Within. And in brackets it said, no, seriously. Like, and it's a real tongue-in-cheek kind of just fun
Yeah.
game, and it's got 9-inch nails in it. Like it's fun.
Nice.
So I'm meaning to go back to that. It's not supposed to be very long. So that is one that I actually do want to finish. On the Xbox side, Halo Infinite. That's in my backlog. I had every intention to finish that game. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I'm going to.
Well, I don't think you're not a Halo person. I don't like.
Well-
I think you tried 3 and it didn't work for you either.
Oh God, yeah. Don't bring that up. Actually, that'll have to go in there as well. I had every intention of actually playing fully through Halo Infinite though. But I think I've gotten everything I'm going to get out of it, and I don't think the story is so outside of just the shooting, combat, and stuff. Like I don't think the story is strong enough to like keep playing the loop of it, and it is kind of the same loop over and over again. So if you love that, great. But I just kind of I was growing a bit tired of it. So I don't think I'm gonna finish that. Those are some of the big ones that I could think of that were in my backlog. I'm trying to think. Chrono Trigger is in my backlog on my phone. Kind of difficult to play that game on the phone actually. I don't know if I found as I was trying to pick the commands, I was getting killed because I couldn't pick them fast enough, and I was going, fuck.
Does that one work with a controller?
Yeah, you know what? I must try it with the backbone to see would I be more responsive that way. I don't know. I'd have loved if they had like a similar port of that as like the like Final Fantasy remasters on console. I think that'd be really cool, but I don't know if there is one. I remember looking and I couldn't find one. Is there anything else in my backlog? I can't think of anything else that's like really obvious. Beyond just games that I would have like put on at a friend's house or tried for a few minutes, like a racing game or things like that, like that are just not realistically in my backlog. Like I think those are the ones that are like I started with the intention of playing through, got so far, and then for the various reasons moved on to other games. So yeah, at one point God of War 2018 would have been ashamedly in my backlog, but I thankfully went back and replayed and finished the whole thing. Because
Did you ever play 1 and 2?
Not to completion. Not to completion, actually. God of War 3 I did.
Yeah.
I played God of War 1 in a friend's house for quite a bit. Never actually had a copy of it. And then when there was the PS3 remasters, I never actually put it on. God of War 2, I think I played like a sequence in that. I don't think
2 is incredible. It really is.
1 would actually technically be in my backlog because I got as far as Pandora's Temple on the back of Cronus. And then
that's an incredible scene.
It's such a hard game. Holy crap.
It is quite difficult, and I was so close to quitting that game, trying to escape Hades. Like, that is fucking torture. It's so annoying.
So fitting.
But got through it in the end.
Sekiro actually be on my backlog.
You see, Eric, you have more than you realized.
Yeah.
Have you any intention of going back and finish Sekiro?
No, you see, this is the thing. When I leave a game long enough, I'm just kind of like, I've no Deathloop. You see it beyond the backlog, but I have no intention of going back to clear that.
Yeah. Why was that? Did you get everything you're going to get out of it? Or you didn't like it, or?
Yeah, it was just pretty much. I killed that guy. Oh, the day ended. I have to kill him again. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, All right, Ubisoft. That's enough for you. I don't think it was Ubisoft, but pretty much.
Oh, Eddie, you mentioned them.
Assassin's Creed.
Every Assassin's Creed ever.
Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 are in my backlog. I never started any of the other ones.
Odyssey and Valhalla are in my backlog.
Yeah, you mother. See, you fucker. You got way more in your backlog. And like you were playing quite far in Valhalla, so you definitely had the intention of finishing it.
I actually still think, like, we're talking about how far you are in, like, 16.
Yeah.
But percentage-wise, you're actually probably, like, quite high.
87%.
Yeah, I'm about 80-something% as well.
Yeah.
I say with the amount of hours I put into Valhalla, I was on, like, 2%. Apparently, the biggest issue with Valhalla is just the game is way too long. So I don't think I was anywhere near the end. And I was even thinking that to myself. I was like, I know this game is really long, but I've pretty much conquered all of England. So I don't know how they're dragging this game out. But anyway.
Oh, actually, sorry. I'm sorry to.
We're just never going to get to Adam.
No, we will. This is like the last
I'm in the
thing
next
I'll
episode.
say. Yeah. Part two of the backlog. I'm sorry, Eric. Okay, The Witcher 3 is in my backlog. Started it with the intention of playing the whole thing because everyone talks about how great it is, and like realistically, I'm like, this should be everything I would love, and even some of my friends are playing it and they're like, this is the fucking best game ever. And I just can't get into it. So it's not likely to actually finish that game, I don't think.
You wounded me.
You wound me so. Anyway, I'm sure there's actually loads more if I was to go back. Like, you're talking like PS2 games, PS3 games.
I'm
but
not even going to get to them.
let's.
Like, I like
no,
the Sims,
let's.
the first Sims game. Starting that with the intention of clearing it. And
You
nope.
did not. Shut the fuck. Right, let's jump to Adam. Let's get some of the games in Adam's backlog.
So there's like I'm not going to mention everything. It's ones that I would absolutely love to someday actually clear. That's what I'm going to touch on, because otherwise it's just insane. Because I have a ton of games that I occasionally will just dip into, like Age of Empires 2, for example. I dip into. I don't actually care about finishing it. I just enjoy playing it. Things like that.
There's an Age of Empires 2?
There's way more than 2.
Oh, yeah, Age of Empires. Of course, yeah. I was thinking Age of Mythology for a second.
I was so shocked by your question. I was like, what?
There's like 4, isn't there? The 4th one's coming out or something?
It's like someone's like, I'm playing Final Fantasy 16. There was a Final Fantasy 4?
Do I need to play 1 to
3?
15?
Yeah, like, hey, hello, catch me up.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Hogwarts Legacy you mentioned already. Resident Evil 4.
The remake.
Yeah, cleared that?
Yeah.
Because obviously I've cleared the original countless times.
Yeah.
But yes.
Can you remember how far you were in it?
I know where I am. I'm on the island.
Yeah.
And I think I'm on just like the first part of the island.
Yes.
So,
I've
just gone into kind of like a building or something, and I'm sure I have to get some switches and shit like that. I know where I am and I know what's next, like, so I'm familiar with the game.
And you were like, I can absolutely put this off.
Yeah.
You're like, I can, like, the lights are twitching. I'm fine.
Yeah,
I know
where I'm at, and I'm just gonna hang on till my heart is in a healthier state, and then
of course I know exactly what you mean. I get you, and you're right.
No, just brave it. Beat your heart into submission and get on it.
It's the most metal thing I've ever heard.
Horizon 2.
You started that?
Yeah, I've started that.
Yeah, I didn't even know he had it.
I started it, and then it's like, it didn't feel right. I don't know. There's something wrong with it. There's something up with it. It doesn't feel like the first one.
It's not a me problem. It's definitely a game problem. It's a
No. I had the same thinking with this. I was like, this doesn't
feel right.
Almost the wonderment, I think, of it is gone.
I kind of feel like they, like, the first one had such a great opening, and it was quite linear actually. The first one up to a point, right? And it was an incredible opening that it almost felt like a Pixar movie.
Mm-hmm.
The second one lacks that. The second one felt like a DLC a little bit. And
it does up to a point.
So,
and then the sequel starts.
So I'm just not really, like, it's fine. It's more the same, but I'm just not like in love with it to like jump into it. But it is something I plan to clear to completion. It's just I'm not in a hurry right now.
Yeah. Must say the visuals and the animations for that game are gorgeous.
Well, I don't like the animations in the cutscene. There's something really odd about them.
Is that how much the hair moves?
Not the hair, it's everything. It's like they move really unrealistic to what they're saying or something like that. Like, it's like I I don't think it's mo-capped. I think it is actually like they have like an animation they've made and they're just voicing over them. It's not quite matching the because I've seen what they can do with cutscenes in the first one. So yeah, there's just something really off about it, and I can't quite put my finger on it. So yeah, there's Horizon 2, Doom Eternal.
You haven't cleared that?
No, I haven't
I
cleared
cleared
it.
that before you.
I haven't started that.
I haven't cleared it because I was waiting. It got to a point. I was like, I must have been, I would say 60% through it. Let's say I don't actually know where I am, but let's say I was 60% through it. Then they make this announcement that there was going to be a free next gen upgrade. So then I was like, okay, cool. Actually, I'm gonna hang on. I'm gonna upgrade the game and then play it on the PS5.
Yeah.
With all the better graphics and frame rate and all that stuff. And then that comes along and does the free upgrade, but you can't carry over your save progress.
Oh, that's nasty.
But you could on Xbox.
That's even nastier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they just didn't allow. This was during the whole. They made the announcement that it was going to be a next gen free upgrade before the Bethesda acquisition. Then the Bethesda acquisition comes along, and all of a sudden the feature's been given to like Xbox to be able to transfer it over seamlessly, and they didn't bother their hole with the PlayStation. I know it's a little trickier on the PlayStation, but I know it can be done because Square Enix has done it. Well, nearly every other studio has done it.
Yeah. Whenever they did the free upgrade, every Ghost of Tsushima did it, Witcher 3 did it. Yeah.
So that
GTA
kind of
5
like that just put a bad taste in my mouth a little bit with the game. That I just never really got back around to it because I would need to, like, my PS4 is not hooked up. I would need to whip that out again and play it on that to actually complete it. Or it's like start again on the newer machines. But either way, it's just like...
Yeah. Are you likely to finish it, do you think, someday?
I'd like to. Because it was good. It was a really fun game. But it's probably... I probably would be better off just starting again, actually. Because it's been so long now. And there's a rhythm to that game.
Yeah, you can lose the flow, can't you, when you don't?
Yeah, and then it'll just be like...
Again.
The difficulty will just be too high at that point, trying to jump back into it. Where I am currently, like, it's... Yeah. There's a crazy amount of demons in it. So I'm probably better off just, like, when things get quiet, just starting it again on one of the new machines, and then probably the Xbox, because they've optimized it better for Xbox.
I think I started when I started that game to play it through to clear it. I think I picked like the most perfect night to start that game, and I think it was.
Tell us about it. Like, was it there was a Twilight or like?
No, it was Halloween night last year. I think it was.
Oh, excellent! Yeah,
because there's nothing scarier for demons than Doomslayer. I was like, this is fitting. Now I get to be the horror.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's a fun game. Like, I think there, not many people like it because it is a bit different than Doom 2016. In that version, like, it's very close to Doom, just reimagined, obviously. Whereas Doom Eternal is a little bit more. I can only describe it as like Big Trouble in Little China or like a Van Damme movie. Like, it's a bit ridiculous. It's like 80s just action hero silliness a little bit.
Sure, I get you. But I kind of thought, like, the first Doom is us. Well, okay, maybe they're ridiculous in different ways. It's definitely ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But the first Doom...
in a machismo kind of way as well, like...
The first Doom is a little bit... Like, there's an element of body horror and sci-fi horror to it. Like, there's a more of a horror-ish element to it, whereas the second one is a bit more fantasy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. That's probably because they introduce kind of like angels and stuff into it. Like, it gets a bit. There's definitely a different vibe to it.
Yeah, well, you get to go to like their fort, like, because the Fortress of the Sentinels, don't you? Which has a very medieval design to it, and all the laser swords and stuff.
Yeah, and you're in
It is a
space,
bit
and
more.
it's whereas
You have the Fortress of Solitude in space, the
yeah,
Watchtower, like from DC Comics. You're in that.
Okay.
whereas the first one, like going into hell, like hell itself is like, yeah, this is, you can see the horror aspect of it a bit. The barons and like I just think the demon, when you see the demons in the first one, there is an element of panic when they get tough.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in the second one, it just isn't, like, you just like the gameplay is a little bit tougher if a harder enemy comes along, but it's not, there's no panic to it. It's just like you have to try to figure out the flow. That's about it. Like,
Yeah.
but, yeah. So that's one I mean, I queued up for it, so I'm gonna have to get to it at some point.
Yeah, you kind of owe it to yourself, right?
Yeah.
It's like national scandal for this. Come on.
Resident Evil 8 DLC.
Oh, yeah,
Shadows
yeah.
of Rose. Yeah,
Shadows of Rose.
And you could easily get through that quick enough. It's very good.
Yeah, I but it's just prioritizing.
Yeah, I mean, you got. I mean, play RE4 first, right? Like, definitely.
I don't know
'cause
how
you need
far
to-
that is on the list, but yeah.
Yeah, because there's a boss fight that I just want you to play, really. But beyond that, and then stop. Like, why can't you stop after that instead of stopping where you've stopped? Like, I just get to that boss fight. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, Shadows of Rose is cool.
Yeah,
I'm-
I've always
I
intended
fucking-
to play that. Yeah.
That fucking house, you know what I mean? You see it, and the minute you see it, you go, motherfuckers, what are they going to do this time? And then you go, I hate this too, you bastards.
Yeah,
I
I've
love
seen
you."
clips.
yeah. So
it's,
like
it's
you-
very
It's
You
the
laughed at the
Weeping
baby,
Angels,
I-
isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah,
pretty
it's
much.
fucking-
You laughed at the baby while everyone else shat themselves. I don't think you're gonna be laughing with these guns. I don't think you're laughing.
I would
with
hope
anything.
not, because just the sound they make is creepy enough, and then you're like, okay, I get the rhythm now, I've got this, and I'm in control. But then there's ones coming from different directions, and then you go, fuck, I've lost control. Fuck this, I hate you. Well done, Capcom.
Yes.
You know, it's
Yeah.
very well done. But anyway, yeah.
Red Dead 2. I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but I would love to actually see that to its end. Like, I would.
Good luck.
It's a
Where are
fucking
you?
huge game, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually can't say where I am in it. I have no idea.
That game was neck and neck with God of War 2018, wasn't it? For the Game of the Year that year. And like basically all the awards are going between the two of those games that year. They were like
I
just
thought that was 2019. Oh, that's 2018?
that's
Oh, it's
2018,
like
yeah,
when-
yeah.
December 2018 or something, is it?
Yeah, because the guy who played Arthur Morgan got the it must have been before December because they qualified for the guy who played him got the best performance that year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's there's a lot to it. It's a hard one, like if you're just wanting to get through the story and stuff like that. It's a fucking hard one to burst on through.
Mm.
Yeah,
And the
I
pacing is very slow, and not just in terms of the way the story is told, but just walking is slow, running is slow, riding your horse is slow, getting on your horse is slow, aiming is slow. Everything in the game just feels like everything's in slow motion.
it's a game where I kind of go graphically. This game is a technological marvel, and the amount of details they have to things is just phenomenal. But as a Rockstar game, I actually think it's quite weak because I think a lot of the sandbox fun that's in a lot of the other Rockstar games is gone because of how meticulously realistic they made the game.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of like, I would like to hunt and, do up my camp with the pelts and stuff. But you have to hunt a particular animal in a particular area with a particular level of pelt, and you have to kill it with a particular weapon and a particular bullet or arrow fucking hitting in the right spot. I'm like, no, you've actually taken the fun out of here. And then when you're firing with like a revolver, you have to actually cock the hammer back as well. So yes, like you said, everything is made slow.
Well, I just find that just walking around is like the animation of the character is very slow. And I felt that a bit in GTA 5 as well, which is why I didn't really find that fun. there's an element of like, even if you look at something like The Last of Us or Uncharted, which you could say are quite grounded as games, or at least they feel like they are. But the animation that they've added into The Last of Us is not realistic. Like, it's not realistic movement. They move faster than actual humans do. Like, the way they take the backpack
off. They crouch
off.
for longer.
Well, the way they take the backpack off, and I mean, I can't fucking take my backpack off that quickly. Like,
no, and then get exactly what they need from the backpack without rooting and taking the toilet paper out and all that.
So they managed to balance, like, okay, this needs to be functional as a video game. Just, you know, I want to get to this thing, but it looks realistic, and I think that's what Rockstar
needs to feel grounded without actually being 100% grounded.
I think Rockstar really just haven't balanced that at all, and their movements are so fucking realistic that it's like, yes, that's how I would move in reality, but I don't want to experience that in a game. Let's be a little snappier here.
There's some serious fucking talent in Rockstar though, isn't there, as well? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think
they're unbelievable.
I think Red Dead 2 is the best looking game on PS4.
It has to be.
Yeah.
Right?
Because, like, I mean, if you know, you could easily say Last of Us 2 is, or
I'd say it's close.
Ghost
I'd say that's
of
close.
Tsushima is. But the thing is that because Red Dead has as much detail as it does in such a huge open world, like that's insane.
Yeah, it is. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's also.
I will never play that game. Because I just know that it's a commitment I just can't make.
It's a huge commitment, and I actually found, because I did clear the game.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're just flexing here today.
Yeah, I just clear all these games. I don't know what a backlog is.
To be honest, probably most people who've played it has cleared it. I'm definitely in the minority there.
Oh no, yeah, correct.
Oh, it's just the story. The story just kind of repeats itself.
Yeah.
To the point where you kind of go, okay, all right, you want more money, Dutch? That's great. But I mean, Dutch, I just gave you $1 million. I don't understand it. We don't have enough to go to Tahiti. Like, come on, cop on. And it just kind of repeats itself with time. It's like, we need more money, and you do something to get money, and it's like, oh no, we got caught. Let's move, and you move somewhere, and it's like, okay, we need more money, and you do something to get money. It's like, oh no, we got caught, and you move. It's like, oh my god.
If there's anything like that you loved about the first one, the second one doesn't offer it, I find.
Yeah, I think.
Well, a lot of the comedy is gone.
Yeah.
Not to spend too long on it, I guess, right? But I think they maybe saw a opportunity to pivot one of their series. There's too many Grand Theft Autos to completely pivot Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah.
Like Grand Theft Auto 5, okay, yeah, it has its own feeling to it, but it is still very satirical. Like, you listen to the radio and even like the characters and the outlandish things they say and just how stupid the characters are and the stupid things they do. Like, it's still very satirical. And I suppose maybe they were looking at it going, right, we have an opportunity to do something different with our other series. We're only on our second entry. So why don't we? Because otherwise we might find we're going in a path of we're just making the same game in a different setting over and over again. We're not, you know what I mean? Like, I would imagine that as a studio, you would like the opportunity to try something else. So as much as I think Red Dead 1 is like super fun to play and I love that game, I do think that they possibly made the right choice making a very mature game at Red Dead 2. Because it gives them an opportunity to have two different flavors going forward.
No, fuck them. I want the same thing.
Never mind. I retract all my statements.
That's it.
I think they perfectly captured a Quentin Tarantino movie with it.
The first one or second one?
Second one.
Really?
Both.
I don't know. I feel like with the first one, I'm playing like a fistful of dollars, but it's done by Quentin Tarantino, right? So maybe like Desperado nearly, right? So that's what the first one is, I feel. Second one, I feel like I'm playing like The Revenant. Like, it's just that serious and that slow.
Which is a wonderful movie, but
it's an incredible film. I fucking love the movie, but you can tell, like, I wouldn't want The Revenant to be a sequel to Fistful of Dollars, let's just say. Like,
I get what you're saying. I also wouldn't want to watch The Revenant again. As amazing as I thought it was, once was enough.
Yeah, yeah.
I got it all. Like as watching it, like I can remember vividly a lot of the scenes, but I don't think I ever need to see
I
it.
remember a lot of
Don't
nature
fuck with
shots
bears.
I'll never throw it. Oh, don't fuck with bears.
oh fuck bears. But I remember a lot of nature shots and kind of thinking that looks nice. Is it needed though? Could we
Yeah,
It's
take
absolutely fucking needed.
No, it could.
Yeah,
Definitely
it's like
could have been
Lord of the
shortened.
Rings, but like
Yeah, but Lord of the Rings, it was panning shots of seeing the Fellowship walk.
no, it's not.
Yeah, yeah. Well, a lot of it is. Yeah, it's not just close-ups on ice melting. Like,
Walking.
like it's like okay, I get it. Seasons are changing, but that has nothing to do with the characters. Like, come on, let's go.
Honestly,
you
I
could've
would have
done
just gotten rid of all the actors and just given me that. Like, I don't care for the
Just David Attenborough
Just-
narrating.
scenery. Yeah, that's all. I
Yeah,
want.
there is documentaries for that, Adam. You don't need.
Check them out.
Anyway, sorry.
It's in my
We're
backlog.
getting-
So when I got the Xbox One, so this is how far this backlog is. When I got the Xbox One, I had the intention of so I only ever played Halo 3 when I had the 360, and I tried 4. I just couldn't get into 4. But I had the intention when I got the Xbox One that I would play through the entire Halo series leading up to Infinite.
Love it. Yeah. That fucking did not happen.
And I was playing it with my friend Brian because you can play through them in co-op, so we could do it through couch co-op or do it online.
Shout
right?
out, Brian.
And we got as far as completing 1
Yeah,
together.
Love it.
So then I was like, we did a little bit of 2 together, but I just finished 2 by myself because I was like, I'm just not kind of waiting. It's kind of hard to synchronize.
Of course it is. Yeah.
And then we were going to go through 3, but in terms of the backlog, so I have 1, 2, and 3 complete, technically, because I've cleared 3 in the past.
Right. So now you just have to do Halo Wars, Halo Reach, Halo.
4. Oh, no. I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna.
Oh yeah, I forgot Reach. Yeah, technically I would have to do Reach. Yeah,
That counts, doesn't it?
it does.
Yeah, you have
ODST, Reach, and 4,
Is there a Halo 5?
5, and Infinite.
Yeah.
It's a lot
I'm
of fucking
pretty sure
Halos, man.
Halo Wars and Halo Wars 2 are
No,
counting when
no,
it comes to
no,
Infinite.
no,
I think when it comes to Infinite, those 2 count.
That's grand. I'll read a fucking wiki. Like I cleared the first one. That'll count, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta do the second one because I think the villain from the second one is the villain
He's
in
going to
Infinite.
be in a video on YouTube, and I'm all good. So it's fine. I'm more
I don't
interested.
know why you're laboring on this.
I'm more interested in seeing like because I could just easily watch a recap on YouTube, but I
Well, of
am
course
really
you could.
interested in seeing the evolution of the game from 1 all the way up.
Yeah.
So supposedly 5 is a load of shit though. So
Hmm.
I mean, when you
Heard that.
hear that the series goes downhill, it does kind of put.
It's hard to get excited about it, right?
Yeah.
Especially when there's so many other games to be playing that you're like,
Well,
like where do I want to put my time?
The game unfortunately suffered from very good, actually ending quite well with Halo 3. And then deciding to keep going. A little bit like Metal Gear Solid 4. It's like it ended really well with Metal Gear Solid 4. Yes, you could keep going, but don't. You know, you had technology and you decided to do it, but you'd never stop to ask yourself, should you do it? And so
Well,
you just
Reach
kind of-
was a fairly okay direction.
Yes, but that was a different tale within the Halo universe. So yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't too bad.
Cool.
In the same vein, then, myself and Pagan.
Yeah.
Well, Pagan has never played Gears of War before,
Excellent.
Okay.
Yeah.
and
guys.
I've never played anything past 2.
Oh,
So I played
okay,
1
okay.
and 2.
Yeah,
And
I thought you started at 3. and
I
then just
started
did
at
that.
3, and it was like
didn't
annoying the shit out of me. This was back on the 360, but I was like, you know what? Let's experience it together, right? So co-op. Like I'm going to be playing
Super
1 and
Robot.
2 again. She's going to be experiencing them for the first time. We cleared 1 and started 2, but I still have 3, 4, and 5 then in the backlog,
Right. Yeah.
and
I
I would
know.
love to
And
see
Judgment.
these through, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I might be in a retirement home with an Xbox at some point.
You might be, man. 5 is fucking excellent, actually.
Is it?
5 is very good.
We had a great time playing
'Cause
5.
4
I was
is
really reminded of
pretty
playing
weak, I
through
think,
2
isn't it?
again. I heard 4 was weak. I don't know. I haven't played 4.
I've
I played
played and
1,
cleared
2,
4.
3, and then I just jumped into 5.
Honestly, like it actually, you have one is quite good,
Mhm.
but two is very much a
The
brilliant
big
sequel.
sequel.
The
Yeah.
big sequel, and then three is that finale that divides people. It's actually kind of like Mass Effect trilogy, to be honest.
Oh,
A little
yeah.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Little
And
bit,
then
yeah.
four
That's not
is
in
like
my
that-
backlog. I'm just.
I was just going to ask, is that to be added in your backlog?
No,
Is it Mass
I
Effect
started
trilogy?
3 and I was like, yeah, no, you're grand.
um,
Oh no, I got as
four-
far as I don't know, this big worm thing or some shit. I don't know. That's
the
true.
treasure maw, man.
The Treasure Maw. It's the
Yeah,
Treasure
Treasure
Maw.
Maw,
And
yeah,
you
yeah.
summon it to kill the Reaper, man.
Yeah,
on
I got as
fucking
far as
Tuchanka.
there. I was like,
You're on
yeah,
Tuchanka.
no, I'm good.
Yeah, you're man.
You're about to cure the Genophage.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it.
or not,
Yeah,
depending.
yeah. That's that decision. Yes.
That's so good.
It's
Before-
fucking amazing. Go on.
4 is like trying to be Gears 1, but then takes some weird turns that it makes it more like Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Gears 5, I'm hoping like is really good, so I'm hoping Mass Effect 5 then is really good.
Do you think it's going to be called Mass Effect 5?
I have no idea what they're going to call it, but I'm just likening the two together because
I'm just going to throw it out there
Here's-
while we're here. I think they're going to call it Mass Effect 4.
Ooh.
I think they just got to that.
Or
that's
what
it.
if it's the Mass Effect?
Yeah, the Mass Effect Rises.
Mass Effect begins.
yeah. Dark of the Mass Effect.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, who knows?
The dark side of
of
the
Mass
effect.
Effect.
That is
Which
mass.
is massive. Massive effect. Sorry. Okay. Continue down this backlog road.
I'll end it here. Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which I am playing. I was playing just before we recorded. I was playing it during the week. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom.
I didn't know games you're currently playing counted though, because you're not going back to it. You're actually in the middle. Because
Yeah, in
like,
that way,
we're in the
it's-
middle of playing FF16, right? So like it's
Yeah.
not in the backlog. It's,
Well,
that's what we're playing. That's actively
So
playing right now.
if you didn't go back to it this week, the game would be in your backlog. But because you went back to it this week,
Wait, whoa! Only 1 week? That's all you get? Then it's in your backlog?
let me explain.
Give us a chance, will you?
Let me explain.
Okay, explain.
I got it when it was released.
Yeah.
I started it when it was released.
Yeah.
And then I stopped playing it. And then I
Okay.
went on to play Horizon 2. I went on to play
okay.
some more Hogwarts. I went on to play Final Fantasy 16.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. You've just come back to it.
I've come back to it.
Ah.
So therefore it is in my backlog. Because
to the
if I
future.
hadn't have come back to it, it would have sat there. And it was one of those games where I was like, yeah, I'm enjoying it, but it just felt much of the same. But after playing Final Fantasy 16, I was like, no, I actually need that in my life. So I abandoned Final Fantasy 16 to play Tears of the Kingdom, and it's just bringing me so much joy.
Is 16 likely to sit in your... Is it likely to become part of the backlog and then sit in the backlog and die in the backlog?
Probably. I
yeah.
definitely don't have a motivation to clear it. Other than just maybe to understand. That's it. I actually don't care for the story.
Okay.
I'm not finding the gameplay fun at all. I think the graphics at times are good, but about 80% of the time are actually okay. The performance is pretty mid. So I'm not seeing
As in game performance or
Yeah.
acting performances?
both.
Okay.
Like the voice acting's good.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the animation that matches is not.
Depends. Yeah, it depends on the cutscene. Whether we're in a FMV or whether it's an in-game cutscene where everything is handed below the waist so that they don't have to animate it.
Well, even in the FMVs, it's like they're
I know some of them are fucking stunning.
some of them are okay, but I find they're not really matching. They're really not matching. It's kind of a similar thing that issue I'm having with Horizon 2. But that's probably that's a regional thing. I'm sure in Japanese it probably sounds amazing. Like it probably matches better.
Well, interesting enough, this is the first game in the series I think where they did the English voice acting first.
But were they
And they
doing the
asked-
animation to English actors? Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I'm not
who
sure,
did,
but
who did the mocap?
what I'm saying is they asked the Japanese actors to match the cadence of the English actors, and normally it's the other way around.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, in terms of the animators, I don't know. But you would imagine then it was to the English, because if that was recorded first,
well, I don't know.
then
It's
you've got that first to work with.
you know, because obviously in the Western studios they do tend to do the mocap with the actor, right? The actor does the mocap and the actor does the voiceover.
See, I don't think there's mocap in this game.
I'm sure there is, but it's not the actors doing it.
Well, even if there is, I think there's very little.
I
in
wouldn't
terms
say-
of the grand scale of the game, I don't think there's a lot of mocap in FF16.
I think every major game has mocap in it.
But like all the little stilted animations, again, all the handing of stuff below the waist so they don't have to animate what the thing is as they're handing it over.
Yeah,
All of that, there's no way that's mocap.
I imagine it is mocap because it's quicker to mocap it than it is to hand animate it.
Right. I seriously, I think if it was mocap, it would look more realistic. I just don't think I don't think it is. But anyway,
Because they tend to
someone released the behind the scenes.
they tend to mocap like just the tiniest of shit. Like even the characters, like, you know, his jump in game, that's mocapped.
Yeah.
Just running animation is mocapped. Like
I believe that. No, but I believe that though.
But why would you mocap that and not mocap what's in the cutscene?
I don't know, but it doesn't fucking look mocap.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't look right.
Anyway,
So I don't know if I'll actually get around to that one. I've tried and I've took off the things because we were having that discussion about trying to improve the gameplay, and it has definitely improves the combat, but it's still kind of it's not Final Fantasy, and I know that's part of the discussion.
You can't say that. That's not true.
Well, it is. It's a Devil May Cry game than it is a Final Fantasy game.
Combat wise,
Yeah, gameplay, yeah.
yeah, but like the whole rest of the game is not. You know what I mean? The whole rest of the game is so Final Fantasy.
Ish. I'd like just. I'm not playing it and going, oh, this feels like Final Fantasy. I'm saying I'm playing it and I feel like it's Game of Thrones and The Witcher.
Yeah, right. And I think those comparisons are closer. I actually think the Devil May Cry comparisons don't go very far. Do you know what I
Really?
mean? Because I'm like,
Really?
yeah, because because I'm like, at first I thought that too, but then I was like, there's so many hack and slash games, so like outside of just the fact that when I'm playing as the character and I'm hitting, and just the run, maybe the run is very Devil May Cry. But outside of that, I'm like, there's nothing else about this game that's like Devil May Cry.
I think for me it's the combat. The combat feels like Devil May Cry. There's a bloody there's a devil trigger in it. Like,
yeah, but it's also a limit gauge. Like it's the Spartan Rage. It's the that's in loads of games. It's not.
I know that but it is in those it's an action adventure game. It's not an RPG.
That's where I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, it is. You're right.
But in that sense, then it's not a Final Fantasy. In terms of like we can, when we played the Phantom Pain, we were always saying this is not a Metal Gear game. There's a DNA, there's an identity to a series, and when you stray too far away from it, it loses what made it special. You may gain new followers, which Phantom Pain did. A lot of people call that their favorite Metal Gear Solid, but not having those cutscenes and stuff like that, it doesn't feel like a Metal Gear game anymore, and that's how I feel with this Final Fantasy.
Sure.
And it's so I don't know if I'll get around to it. I'm not having a good time with it, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. Is anything else from the backlog that you wanted to shout out?
No, I think that's plenty.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot in our our backlog is crazy. I just want to ask then, before we finish up, for each of us, of the games that are in your backlog, and not Tears of the King because you're now currently playing it, but of the other ones in your backlog, each of us, And maybe now, as the conversation's gone on, you actually thought of another one that you didn't mention earlier. But what is the next game you're going to play that is from your backlog? So, like, there might be a game that's coming out that you're going to play first, but of the games in your backlog, which one do you think you're most likely to actually go and play next?
Well, for me, it's either
Adam, yeah.
it's either Horizon 2 or Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah. Which one are you most likely, more likely?
I don't know. That'll just kind of depend on the mood.
The mood, right?
But it's definitely one of them two.
For me, probably Octopath Traveler 2. Because I heard that's the better one. So I don't need to play the first one to understand it. So I'm a bit like, why would you jump into playing that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. For me, it's a game that I actually just thought of as we were talking. But it's one of the PS Plus games this month. Alan Wake. I rented it on Xbox 360 as a younger teen. And this is how much of a pussy I used to be at horror games. I got very, very, like, I did not get far into that at all. Got scared and brought the game back. And like, I had it rented for a week and I did not. I was too scared to play it. And now that I see it there, and the second one I think looks really good, I'm like, okay, it's time to actually, because I rented it with the with the intention, because you could pay for 3 days, 5 days, or 7 days at the time, and I rented it for 7 days because my intention was I'm gonna rent this game and play it all week and clear it and bring it back. That was my goal, like. And then I was too scared at the time. But now I feel I'm a bit braver. I've played definitely scarier games than Alan Wake. So now I want to play it.
I know. So I think I played that game when you had it rented. So I think I got further than you.
Yeah.
And then recently I played and cleared it. I don't think your biggest problem is going to be scared of the game.
I don't think so either now at this point.
I think your biggest problem is going to be everything else with that game.
Yeah, the clunky controls and stuff, and because I am familiar with what's
did they improve anything with the remaster?
I don't think so, beyond just like a facelift essentially.
Graphically it doesn't look that good. Still quite clunky. Awkward to aim and shoot and kill things. Every mission, if you fucking think like Final Fantasy 16 is long, every mission feels that long. Like, they're just really long games, and it kind of gives you no answers by the end as well. Or maybe it does, and I just was too stupid to figure it out.
Let us know, Chris.
Yeah, let us know. Well, that's if I finish it. Like I said, it's the next one I'll probably play. Maybe I will get to the point where I go, it's going back into the backlog. We'll see. We'll find out. But guys, we'd love to hear from you guys as well. What games are in your backlog? And out of our backlogs, which one are you like, oh, guys, seriously, shame on you. Go and finish that fucking game for whatever reason. Maybe you're like, mine. It's fucking amazing.
Witcher 3 for Bodies.
Yeah, I could see people going,
that's
seriously,
not in my
guys.
backlog.
It was at one point.
No,
You've just decided to remove it.
I just tried it out. I had no intention of clearing that.
I honestly had every intention of actually playing it through. Because everyone, like, I mean, I was like, it should be.
Yeah, it absolutely should be, but...
You know what I mean? But anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the one that people are going to say. It's like, are you fucking nuts? That's one of the best games ever. Do let us know, guys, what you think of our backlogs, and then share with us what is in your backlog and what game should you really get back to playing at some point as soon as you have a chance. If you're watching YouTube, drop down in the comments to share your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this discussion, why not give us a thumbs up, hit subscribe, ring that notification bell for all future content. And to those of you who are listening to us on audio platforms, you can also touch base on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at The Brothers Take, again, to give your take on your video game backlog and our video game backlog. Thank you so much for checking us out this week, guys. We'll be back to talk to you guys next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.